So this is how we start most of the starts for our farm. We use just basic trays. We buy them in cases, a couple hundred at a time. This is a 128 tray, which means there are 128 holes. We also use 200s and 72s, depending on what we're starting. Just about everything other than tomatoes and peppers, which we start in little plugs and then pot up into 50s, we start in these. So it's really easy. You take a tray, you set it down, you fill it with the media, and then the really important thing is that you want to be sure that all of the cells are evenly filled. And the way you do that is you take another tray and use it to push down on the tray you had really well. And then you refill it again. And then depending on how confident you are in your pushing down abilities, you can do it one more time just to be sure. And fill them. And then you have a tray that's ready to water. We always fill our trays with dry media because that way we're able to get them totally full. But then you obviously have to get them nice and wet in order to start your seedlings. So just water them in. We usually water them, let them soak, and then water them again. So the next step is going to be getting the tray ready for the seeds. I found the easiest way to do this is to basically poke a hole in every cell. It's called dibbling. If you don't have a Dibble board, which I'll show you in a minute, the easiest way to do it is actually a Sharpie marker is your best tool. And the reason for that is it's nice and smooth. We actually cut off the handle. So you have a nice smooth little half round thing. And then you just go, you want to try to maintain the same depth, and you just poke a tiny hole in the top of every cell. When you start off, you'll probably be going pretty slow, but when you get good at it, you can use your hand as a stop. So you know that that's going to be basically the same depth, with every hole. We made our Dibble boards because they cost about $300 a piece if you want to buy them, which seemed like an awful lot for what they are. It's a board with lots of holes poked in it, and nuts coming through with the little acorn washers on top, half rounds again. And you just take it and you push it into the tray in order to get all your dibbles. So it's made so you just line it up on the edge of the tray. And when it's lined up, push it down nice and hard. Pull it up. And you have a hole dibbled in every tray that quick. So if you're doing a lot of seeds, you may want a slightly easier way to do them if you're starting a ton of trays. And in that case, this might be the tool for you. So how this works is you can see the holes just kind of go in and out. You put it in the closed position, position it over your tray, and then you can put seed, pelleted or not, it doesn't matter. Put one seed in each hole. And it works, it just is a lot quicker than trying to put them into the holes right over the dirt, and you can see exactly what you're doing because it's all on black. So it's obvious when you've missed a hole or when you have two in a hole, so you can just go. Depending on the size of your pelleting, sometimes you can just kind of sweep it over and wiggle them around and they'll fall in your holes like that. So for some reason these lettuce seeds don't particularly like that, so I have to put them in a little more. But that's the way the tray works in general. And then when you're totally done and ready to go, and there's one in every hole, then you just slide it and they'll drop down. And then if any didn't quite make it into the holes, you can just scooch them in with your fingers, get a quick look. They're pelleted, so they're easy to see. If you're missing one, you can just add them. The next step is to cover the seeds so they can germinate. You actually want to keep the top of the soil relatively dry so you don't get dampening off, so you don't get that issue. The way that we do that is by using vermiculite as opposed to soil. So it's a soilless media, so we're not going to have the growth of the dampening off fungus on our seedling, on the top of the soil, and it also helps maintain the correct level of humidity. So all we have to do is take the tray, which we've already seeded, and then we just put vermiculite on top of it and just rub it around with your hand so you basically completely fill every cell. Just like that. And then that tray is ready to go. Once you have your trays started and labeled and ready to go, you're probably going to want to put humidity domes over them. That helps prevent you from watering them, having to water them for the first couple weeks. The benefit of that is you're not going to be washing vermiculite away or hurting your tiny seedlings. So if you can use humidity domes, all the better. You can keep them year after year. They're expensive, but they're reusable. And then you want to put your seedlings in a warm place. So your temperature goal is going to be somewhere in between 70 and 80 degrees for almost everything. It's a good, ballpark for most things. And if you can keep them that warm, you'll be great. Either on top of a refrigerator if you're just doing a couple trays, or in a greenhouse. We use heated beds to help us get a head start on the season, and then our greenhouse is also heated. In the basement of our house, we have a large room with heated pads, germination pads, which are specifically designed to keep trays at the correct temperature for germination.